Good evening, everyone. I know the market is testing our patience, our resilience in this bad market sentiment. And this is a time when the weak hands will give away their blue chip companies to the strong hands. And that has happened previously, that will happen now, and that will happen in the future also. The basic question that I have been addressing, when I do interaction with in fact, I've been doing a lot of interaction with various stakeholders. Everyone is saying market में बहुत मंदी है. The market is going to fall further. Yes, it can fall further. No one knows where exactly the bottom is. Assume that you are knowing where the bottom is. Will you invest at that point of time when the bottom has been hit? The answer is no. It's a very famous saying. It is the darkest before the dawn. And something which we are right now experiencing it. In a one day, the small mid cap cracking by 2 to 2.5%. Some of the large caps have taken a huge beating. I'm going to show some data today. What has been the damage in 2025? But I must tell you, everyone, I will always tell what I do in my personal life, what we are doing in our PMS, so that you can learn from that. I am using every dip in the market to add more. Knowing fully well the stock that I am buying can further go down by 10%, 15%, 20%, fine. शो का 80 भी हो सकता है. I am mentally prepared for that. Because I know fully well I will not be able to buy at the bottom of the price. But I fully also aware the same company which I am buying today at 100, most probably by next Feb 2026, it could be in 150 despite touching down to 80. So once you create that kind of a mindset in your mind, and I think the mindset is a very crucial in this market. Your temperament, what your temperament has been, I think is going to define who the winner would be. I'll give you two classical examples because the Champions Trophy is on. Look at the temperament of English cricket team. They first fought, they had a match against Australia. And one point of time, it was looking very obvious that Australia will lose match. Why? Because England scored very heavy runs and Australia quickly lost a couple of wickets. But the temperament was not there to win it. And they lost the match. Something similar happened against Afghanistan. Again they lost and they are out of the Champions Trophy. So you have a talent, but you don't have a temperament. And I think this is a time where temperament of the retail investors will get tested. How you behave, what you do, and what you don't do is going to decide what kind of wealth you create from the equity market. पैसा कोई आसानी से नहीं बनता इक्विटी मार्केट में. People thought 2023 और 24 में बहुत बड़ा पैसा बना, 25 में, एंड पीपल यूज टू टेल मी आपने क्या पैसा बनाया, हमने ज़्यादा पैसा बनाया. अब बनाया आप लोग ने, कहा ना बोलता हूँ. But the same guy is not making that statement to me. Because they realize what has been the damage happened. Of course, सबके पोर्टफोलियो डैमेज हुआ है. It's not that किसका नहीं हुआ है, मेरे खुद के पोर्टफोलियो भी हुआ है. The beauty is that how sure or how confident you are that your strategy will bounce back as and when the market starts moving up. Do you have a strategy in place? And I think that's where your temperament will come in very handy. So before I start making presentation, small disclaimer, this webinar just to enhance your understanding about the equity market. Please consult your financial advisor before buying and selling any stock. Past performance is no indicator of future returns, and investment in securities market are subject to market risk. I don't know whether this is readable or not because we changed the size. Is it readable? No, sorry. I'll try to change it next time. Let me go to the presentation. In fact, yesterday I was really in a bad shape because of the common cold. Today it is much better, but still not the best. But let me try to do it. Nifty 50, what happened? So I'm trying to give you some data. And that's where I'm going to give you how stock selection is becoming more and more important for the investor's portfolio. In Nifty 50 in 2025, 11 companies are advancing, 39 are declining. So advanced decline ratio is almost 0.28. The Nifty 50 is given 6.43, but that is negative. But the top loser has been trend 32%. And in this bad market, Bajaj Finance is up by 25%. The same Bajaj Finance was underperformer in 2024 and the best performer was Trent. And look at the reverse of the position happening in 2025. If you remember, Trent was one of the best performing company. And Bajaj Finance was struggling to outperform. But that was what has happened. The first 2 months of 2025. That's not all. Look at next 50. दो companies सिर्फ advance है. So sometimes we say this pain is more into the large and mid cap. No sir, it's also in the large cap also because Nifty next 50 is nothing but the large cap company only. 48 companies have declined out of 50. And look at 16.07% decline. Which is the topmost gainer? Chola Investment. Which is down? Varun Beverages 32%. Again, Varun was one of the best performing company. Chola was not in 2024. Reversed the situation in 2025. Again, what is the common thread? Bajaj Finance, the best performing in next 50, in Nifty 50, Nifty next 50, Chola is the best performer. Both are NBFC. You go back to our equity outlook 2025, what did we mention? This is clearly coming out to be this. Let's move on to the next. That is the mid cap. Mid cap and the next 50, 16.07 and 16.91. They have very similar kind of the performance. And if you look at the advanced decline ratio, so 0.06, 0.04. Out of, this is a BSE mid cap, 132 companies, 7 are only in advance, 125 decline. Which is the best performing company? UPL. If you ask me, even I would not have imagined UPL being turning out to the best performing company. And the loser has been Whirlpool. The day announced that the promoters want to get out, the foreign promoters want to reduce the stake, company on a clear-cut downward trend. And one reason is that this is despite the fact that this time the summer has to be a little harsh. And the product that Whirlpool makes, I think it should be beneficial. But yet, we see this company down by 49%. That means price has become half in just 2 months. That shows the value of destruction happening in the mid-cap space. Let's look at small cap. Is the scenario looking better? Only 0.04 is advanced decline ratio. 39 companies advanced, 899 companies declined. 22% decline in 2 months. The Banaras Hotel up by 36%, while top loser has been Jacob. The date that they announced that they sold some of the land, SEZ, the stake in that company, Scrip has really basically taken a huge beating. Am I right? So that's what has happened with the Jacob. $50 companies now. Valuation. That couple of interesting things. Today I want to give you some interesting data so that you people, we want you people to think about it. The Nifty 50 total market cap is 175 lakh crore, which is almost 50% of what the India's market cap, not little less than 50%, because we would be near about 400 lakh crore. It's a 150, 175. So basically gives me 40-45% kind of a stuff. 8.43 lakh crore profit, that's a thing. Trading at 28.x, and the 10-year average is 23.5. Come to Nifty Next 50, which is the large cap company only, 61.2 crore market cap. But if you look at Nifty Next 50 market cap and BSE small cap market cap is almost equal. Despite both having equal market cap, the profit of Next 50 is 3 lakh crore versus BSE small cap 2 lakh crore. And price to earning, because of the profits a little higher, but market cap is same, price to earning of Nifty Next 50 is 19.8, which is lower than Nifty 50, but much higher in case of small cap. And if you look at the 10-year average, PE of Nifty 50 is better, Nifty Next 50 is better, and BSE mid cap is better. And even so is the case with BSE small cap. So everywhere the correction has been so sharp, that does not mean that market will start bouncing back from tomorrow. I don't know when the market will start bouncing back. I was making a presentation to a PMS customer, and I presented data of BSE 500. This is the first time in many years in the modern history of the equity market that BSE 500 has fallen 5 months in a row. It has never happened in a row. The previous worst was 4 months in a row in 2001. And at that point of time, market went up by 50% in just 6 months after touching the low, which has happened in September 2001, the 9 by level. And if you remember, 9 by 11, World Trade Center mein jo hua tha. I don't know whether markets rebound in the month of March, whether the market rebounds in the month of April. I don't have a clue. But as and when the rebound will happen, we should expect rebound very strong in the market. Kabhi hoga, kis bottom level se hoga, I have no clue. But brace for that rebound. If it will happen in the first half of 2025. That's what I'm basically confident of. FII ownership is a level of interest. And if you look at it, 18.2 they were holding, the holding came down to 17.4. So that's what has happened in the FI holding. But I think I went one step ahead and want to give you some interesting data. Okay, how FI invest, how mutual fund invest, and how retail investors invest. So let's look at this data. First, would give you some data. Individual investors ownership. What percentage of market they own? They were owning somewhere 10.1 in FY 2007. Right now, we are at 9.8. So it basically declined to 9.1, 8.7, 8.5, 8.2, further move up to 8.5, then other came down to 8. And if you look at it, they were just about 9% or so. But since FY 2020, which is March 2020, when this COVID hit us, they were at 8.4. And from then, somehow they've been maintaining about 9.5% or so. Now, what is 9.8% basically, which number in terms of value? Look at this data. Retail investors in this country own shares worth 43 lakh crore. Kitna? 43 lakh crore they are owning. The same time, mutual fund holding is 43 lakh crore. So when I combine 43 lakh crore plus 43 lakh crore of domestic mutual fund and individual investors, 86 lakh crore. What is FI investment is 76 lakh crore in India. I'm giving you the hard numbers, value, not percentage. So this is data as of 31st December 2024. Of course, FI sold about 1 lakh crore, they could be marked to market. So this 76 lakh crore, well, it is not be 76 lakh crore. But you get an idea what I'm talking about. The total combined holding of domestic and individual investors is much higher than the FII. Was that the case previously? The answer is no. Let's look at this way. In March 2022, retail investors 25 lakh crore, the mutual fund was 20 lakh crore. So combined is 45, against which FI were 50. So they were holding higher. Something similar in May, then something similar in July, and so on so forth. If you look at where this trend got changed actually, this happened somewhere here, 65 something. So here they were owning almost similar, FII and the domestic and the retail investors, 58. And then now basically both combined are owning much better than. So today retail investors own 43 lakh crore shares in the portfolio, total holding by them, which is not a small number by any stretch of imagination. Wherever they put money between FII, DI and individual investors, 94% FII holding is in large cap. For in case of DII is 92 lakh crore. This is the definition above us. If you're less than more than 20,000 crore, 5 to 20,000 crore, and between 1 to 5,000 crore, large, mid, and small cap. And individual, they love mid and small cap more. So they have only 72% exposure into the large cap. So amongst FII, DI, and individual, FII owns the largest of large cap. When it comes to mid cap and the small cap, individual investors and retail investors own the largest chunk, 10.9 lakh crore versus 5.1 lakh crore of DI and 4.3 lakh crore of FII. And if you look at it, the retail investors has 28% into mid, small and micro cap, while it's very minuscule in terms of FII in both the cases. That clearly gives an idea. FIIs prefer to keep large cap, while retail investors prefer to have more fancy toward mid, small and micro cap. Despite having said that, they still own 72% in the large cap. So it's not that retail investors always invest in small cap, but the proportionate as compared to FIIs and DI is much higher in mid and small cap. In terms of sector, which is the percentage of total FI holding into where they like it. Banks private 13%, IT software 7, NBFC 7. But if you look at it, the what we call the retail investors, the topmost sectors are not, of course banks is there, 13%. The second best is IT software, and the third best is pharma, which is the case with, it's not been the case with the FII. FII has 5% oil exploration, 5% capital goods, 5% power generation, and so on and so forth. In terms of DII, they are also not mimicking very similarly. Like while the banks private is the number one, number two had been NBFC, and so is the case with the oil exploration. So this is the kind of a difference between how FI invest in terms of market cap and how FIs, DI and individual investors invest in terms of sector exposure. 2025 has not started. Trump was supposed to be good for the market, am I right? Look what happened to the Nasdaq, 3.97. Look at S&P 500, minus. Nifty is down by 6.4. Nvidia, AI, making India great. America great, 10.53%. Bitcoin, which biggest proponent of Bitcoin, Trump was. What happens to it? If YTD is down by 15%. The point I was to tell you is that sometimes we all get a little excited about the news and everything, but the moment you do fast forward, you realize a lot of hype doesn't really convert into a real life money getting converted. And that's what has happened with Nvidia and Bitcoin. My worry is that will they bounce back from this level? The answer is no. I don't know. I can go wrong. I'm not an expert on Nvidia or I'm not an expert on Bitcoin, but the way movements are happening doesn't look very exciting, doesn't look very promising. That's the thing. So sometimes try to cut the noise and focus what matters. And what matters for basically is the fundamental story and the valuation of the company. The moment you deviate from that, the short term looks very exciting, but eventually you will not make that kind of a money. Crude oil, which has been a concern, has come down just for the information. What happens to the market this week? Small cap is down by 6%, mid cap is down by 4% in 1 week. And not a single sector is in green. But what has outperformed? Bank Nifty and Nifty FMCG has outperformed the broader market. Of course, the Nifty Finance. Again, we want to harp on the 3.3 sectors which we like for 2025. Bank Nifty, that's the private sector banks, FMCG companies, and infra/capital goods. And we continue to believe even now, these are the sectors that can make more money for the investors. If you look at 2025, how it is performing, Bank Nifty has outperformed the Sensex and the Nifty. FMCG is still in a downward trend, has performed much worse than the Sensex and Nifty. I think as the months progresses, I think we'll see more improvement happening in the Nifty FMCG index. FPI sold 35,000 crore, and in 2025 they sold almost more than 1 lakh crore. Not spending much of a time. And yesterday, Donald Trump I'm just running a very bad nose, made a statement that new tariff would be imposed on Canada, Mexico and China from March 4. And what would be the tariff would be? 25% on Mexico and Canada and an additional 10% on the China. So 10% anyway there, on the top of that is it. Whether that happens or not, we need to wait and watch. March 4 is not very far from here. Why? Because we are at the fag end of the month, 28th Feb. So 4th March is nothing but the Tuesday. Whether this will happen, not happen, no one has a handle on it. Because we have seen in the past being announced and not implemented. So let's wait and watch, but that definitely not making market little happy with this. With this, let's open the floor for question answer. Nadeem, please provide insight on the impact of tariff on automobile sector in India. So I don't know, sir, which tariff you are talking about on automobile sector. Only thing which has happened is that the EV has been allowed to import at the cheaper rate. But there are certain conditions which has been put. So someone has to really put the FDI and so on and so forth. And that will basically give an idea about, what would happen to that. So as such, there is nothing negative which has come in the market. The only thing which could happen is that some of the existing EV players, domestic, they will have to rework their strategy. Because some cars are coming, which is coming at a better price in the EV space like Tesla. Then what is the value proposition our domestic players are giving, offering to them? So I think they need to up their game, introduce new features in the car, and offer the competitive price. Of course, Tesla will not come at the same price point which Mahindra or Tata Motors are offering, but anyway, it could create a pressure on that. And I think that's the one thing which will keep the price rise of these companies under check. So I think right now we have to wait and watch. Tesla is not yet coming to the market, but most probably they will come. Whether they come in 2025, whether they come in 2026, we don't know. So I think it's a happening story. Nothing much can be said at this point of time. Arun Mukherjee, is it a time to invest with limited income? I'm a pensioner. Sir, very simple formula, Arun sir. Whether you are pensioner or not, the reason I'm saying because I'm giving you the general rule book. The money that you don't need for next 3 years should come to the equity market. So, if you are a pensioner and if you have limited income and you are living only on limited income, don't invest a single rupee in the equity market. In fact, we have rejected many investors who wanted to come join PMS. We realized they don't have a profile to be a equity investor. So, sir, Arun sir, if you don't have money to sustain for next 3 years, because market by nature is volatile. You don't know what will happen to the market. And when you need the money, markets are down, you will be forced to get out of the market. So my request would be, please put only those money which you don't need for next years in the equity market. If you need it, don't invest a single rupee, despite market looks very, very promising. I again repeat, despite market looks very, very promising, because market, you never know where the bottom is. What looks good may look much better 3 months down the line, because market may fall further, but not necessarily market has its own logic. It doesn't work in the way you and me think. The market has its own logic. What looks better may look further better, because it will keep falling it. So that's why I'm saying, please put only those money which you don't need for next 3 years in the equity market. Rajendra Sir said, companies' quarterly results do not according to the published GDP figure. What are the views? For the GST figure may be due to the higher inflation. Do you agree? I don't know, sir. So if you look at the quarterly earnings, the top line growth has not been as high as what the GDP numbers are. So I agree with you. But GDP also is a function of various other factors. And that's where we need to really, like, what is GDP? GDP also includes, agriculture. Now, not many people are in the listed company within the agriculture. Just to give an example, there are so many companies which are outside listed, what we call the compass, and that could be the reason. Over a longer period of time, GDP numbers and quarterly numbers should match. There could be a variation one quarter here and there, but I don't think we should read too much into further GST figure may due to high inflation. I don't think so, sir. It should not be read too much into high inflation has been about 5-6%. I don't think that should explain the year-on-year growth of 12% in GST collection. I don't think we should read too much into that. No. Tarun sir, how will it help a new person into the market for investment? How can I believe that analysis done based company for promoters' interest? How can we blindly believe the analysis of stock recommended? Sir, are you referring to MarketsMojo? Sir, you have a two choice. Either you believe us or don't believe us. It's like you believe in, there's something called faith. Am I right? You believe in God, you don't believe in. Someone say, how do you prove God is there? Fair, that's a fair question. Same way, if you think, I don't believe your analysis or stock recommendation, just observe for 6 months. Observe for 9 months. Don't invest single rupee in this. And look at what happens to that performance. If you're happy with that, go and put real money. But if you're not happy with that, go to some other website, go to some other analyst, go to some other platform and use that platform. That's the best way, because how do you convince yourself? I think the conviction will come only when you basically yourself try to test it. The many of our investors, Tarun sir, they started model portfolio in our platform. They did not put the money, but they put it for the testing purpose. And then they realize, okay, yes, it's working fine. And then they started putting their hard-earned money in that. Same logic you can also apply, sir, and see whether it's working or not working. And then do come back to us in 6 to 9 months and please share your experience. How did you find that? I think there's one more thing that you basically, it's almost like an allegation. How can I believe that analysis done basis company or promoters' interest? Why we will do something for the promoters? MarketsMojo or Mojo PMS do not derive a single rupee from any of the promoters. In fact, we don't run any advertisement also on our platform. Okay, some promoters will give us the advertisement and hence we will give better recommendation to them. Who pays us money? Our subscribers, our customers. There is no reason why we should not be loyal to them, the guy who makes payment to us, rather than promoters who don't give us even single rupee to us. And we don't want also. That's not the revenue model we believe in. But Tarun sir, I think the proof in the pudding is that you start experiencing that. Don't put a single rupee. Observe a record for next 6 to 9 months and then come to the conclusion. Another way is that our track record is available on our website. Look at that track record. How good or bad it is. You decide on to that. Third thing is that you speak to some of your colleagues or friends or relatives who are using MarketsMojo website. Please get first-hand information from there and then decide. So these are the ways, sir, you can basically figure out how good or bad we are, sir. Yeah. Uh, Ayyappan sir is saying, how are you? I'm fine, sir. As you can see, running down with the very bad cold. In fact, yesterday was really bad. If you ask our PMS customers, it was really terrible. But fortunately, in fact, I made a statement also. I don't know how good I'll be today. In the sense, tomorrow, yesterday I made a statement, and I don't know whether I'll be doing webinar or not. But fortunately, it improved a little bit without taking any medicine. So that's a good thing. The market is beaten, the portfolio gone down to negative 20%. What is the future of next 6 months? What should I do? I am the investor of 1.5 crore. Sir, I told you in my opening comments, I don't know when market will turn around, whether it happens in the month of March, whether it happens in the month of April. But as and when the turnaround will happen, it will be quick and fast. I'm very optimistic, and by nature, I'm an optimistic person. First half of 2025, we should see a rebound of that. What has happened, the carnage that has happened in first 2 months. Whether that happens in the month of May, whether it happens in the month of June, I don't know. But it should happen. So you are talking about 6 months. I think we should be at much better level than what we are right now in next 6 months. So we are talking about Feb end. I'm talking by August, we should be at much higher level than what level we are right now. That's the way you can look at it. And Ayyappan sir, my request to all of you, not only to you and everyone, those who are attending the webinar, don't have too much view on the market in short term. 3 महीने में क्या होगा, 4 महीने में क्या होगा, what will happen in 5 months, 6 months. Equity as an asset class is a beautiful way of power of compounding. Longer you remain invested, the higher the money you make from that. So don't get too much about 3 महीने में क्या होगा, 6 महीने में होगा. Have little long term. But having said that, I'm very optimistic by August, the level of market would be much higher than what it is there on 28 Feb 2025, which is today. मुझे एक क्लिप भिजवा देना आमिर ये स्टेटमेंट का. And I want you to run this clip on 31st August 2025. Kamil? Thanks. Rao sir, would be the trigger point for market reversal? Do mutual fund have money sitting sideline to be deployed? Yes, sir. Yesterday I made a presentation where I mentioned that it's 1.95, 1.96 lakhs crore is still waiting in the outside. They have not parked the funds. What will be the trigger? It could be share valuation. It could be tariff fatigue. It could be some positive development happening on the geopolitical situation. Some reforms coming in from the government. Some announcement coming from the RBI. It could be anything, sir. Or some good commentary coming from the India. Yesterday I was making a statement to our PMS customers. 60 crore people have visited Mahakumbh. I don't know how many people, those who are attending the webinar, visited Mahakumbh. Can we have a quickly find out how many people attended the Mahakumbh? If you can, people say yes. I mean, we'll combine it, not 100%. But we can come to know what percentage of people have basically visited Mahakumbh. 60 crore people visited Mahakumbh. Assume that they spent 5,000 rupees only to go to Mahakumbh and come back. प्रयागराज गए और वापस आ गए, which is near about 3 lakh crore. Assume that 60 crore was a humbug number, bogus number. 30 crore people only went. You multiply by 5,000, which is 1.5 lakh crore. That's not a small number, which is like a mini stimulus that has come in. Another 1 lakh crore ka stimulus is coming from April. Why? Because the tax rebate coming in. So I don't know what would trigger it, but something will come from nowhere and market will start going up. So that's what will happen. That's why I said I want to play that clip of mine on 31st August 2025, where I am making a prediction that level on 31st August 2025 of Nifty and Sensex will be higher than the what level we are in. Good evening, Sunil ji. Will it be out of place to expect a webinar by MarketsMojo on the tax treatment of profit and loss from stocks and other investments? Sir, what exactly you are talking about, sir? If you can help me understand, I'm not very clear. What exactly you are looking out from us, sir? Tax treatment of profit and loss from stocks and other investment. What exactly you want, sir? I'm not very clear. If you can rephrase your question, I think that will be helpful. I mean, has people put in how many people visited Mahakumbh? सबने यस लिखा है. कितने लोगों ने यस लिखा? दैट्स से बट सब सेवन थोड़ी सब लोग होते हैं यार. हाँ ठीक है ठीक है. कैन मार्केट्स वॉज मोहन कुमार कैन मार्केट्स वॉज एट गोल्ड सिल्वर ETF इन योर रेगुलर म्यूचुअल फंड रिकमेंडेशन. थैंक यू. Have we not put ETF in our mutual fund section? Let me come back to you, sir. See, this is also a function of, sir, view on the gold. We don't have an expertise on view on silver. Whatever view I give in the beginning of the year is my personal view, not MarketsMojo view. But I'll point taken, Harsis ko bhi bhej dena ye. Okay. I'll ask a concerned person to look into this. Rahul Kumar, investors still putting the money in stock market and there is no panic selling mutual fund and paisa, and therefore hard to believe that it cannot fall further. Your views, please. So I think you have given the answer. Na? If people have not still putting money in the market and there is no panic selling, then why should market should further? I believe that it cannot fall further. That it's hard to believe that it cannot fall further. It will not fall if markets are not, people are not selling. Why would it fall? The only reason market is falling because FIs are selling. Eventually they will turn buyer. I know the values have become attractive. When they turn buyer, how they become buyer, I think we need to wait and watch. So that's what my sense is, sir. I don't think, see, market can fall further from here, 5% more, 10% more. I don't know, but I'm very much sure that despite that fall, we should be at a much better, higher level as compared to what level we are by 31st August. So there could be downside. But when you expand that time horizon to 6 months, we should be in a better position. रिकू नारायण, जिस तरह से मार्केट गिर रहा है पहली बार जब में डर लग रहा है. हमने हर 50% तक की गिरावट में मॉडल पोर्टफोलियो में इन्वेस्ट किया है, पर जो भी खरीदते हुए नीचे जा रहा है. स्टॉक ऑफ द वीक भी खरीदने के लिए डर लग रहा है. कृपया आगे के लिए रास्ता दिखाइए. गोल्ड और सिल्वर भी अपना व्यू दीजिए. रिंकू सर, मार्केट का नियम है, वो आपको डराएगा, आपको घबराएगा. आपको ना डरना है ना घबराना है. आपको शांत चित्त से मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करना है. जो कंपनी हम बता रहे हैं आपको, उसमें आपको इन्वेस्ट करना है. जिस कंपनी से हम आपको बता रहे हैं कि आप उसमें से निकलना है, आपको उसमें से निकलना है. पैनिक नहीं करना है. मार्केट पहले भी ऐसा बिहेव दे चुका है, अब भी दे रहा है और आगे चल के भी देगा. बट ये आपने बहुत अच्छा काम करा है कि हर गिरावट में आप 5% पैसा डाल रहे हो मॉडल पोर्टफोलियो में. बहुत सही काम कर रहे हो. और रिंकू सर, आप मुझे फरवरी 2026 में आके बोलोगे कि सर जो मैं कर रहा था ना, वो बहुत बढ़िया इन्वेस्टमेंट रहा मेरे लिए, तो प्लीज़ उसे कंटिन्यू कीजिए. स्टॉक ऑफ द वीक काफ़ी अच्छी कंपनियाँ रिकमेंड कर रहे हैं. वो गिर रही है बिकॉज मार्केट का सेंटीमेंट खराब है, इसके लिए नीचे जा रही है. उसमें कोई कंपनी का फंडामेंटल में कोई ख़राब नहीं है, तो प्लीज़ उसमें बने रहिए. ओके. और गोल्ड और सिल्वर के लिए मेरा व्यू है कि भाई 10 से 15% ही आपका टोटल वेल्थ है, उसका 10 से 15% गोल्ड में डालिए. और उस पर कम है तो उससे इंक्रीज़ कीजिए, उससे ज़्यादा है तो ज़्यादा पैसा उसमें मत डालिए. और हमारा ये मानना है कि 2025 भी गोल्ड और सिल्वर के लिए अच्छा रहेगा. हमने एक इक्विटी आउटलुक प्रेजेंटेशन किया था 2025 जनवरी में, प्लीज़ उसको सुन लीजिए. उसमें हमने बताया था गोल्ड कितना टका तक ऊपर जा सकता है 2025 में और सिल्वर कितना ऊपर जा सकता है 2025 में. वो आप देख लीजिए, आपको अंदाज़ा आ जाएगा क्या करना है आपको. Sasikant sir, what is your opinion when this free fall will stop? I don't have an answer, sir. I wish I know the answer, then I would not be buying every day. Then I'll buy only the day when I know that it's going to stop. Am I right? No one knows a clear-cut handle. Historical trend suggests that as and when 5 months in a row it has happened, market has bounced back very strongly. So if that is so, I think you should look at this one. So don't try to time the market. Don't try to catch the only bottom. वो करने में आप शायद आपकी गाड़ी छूट जाएगी. So if you have money, please go ahead and invest in the market. Please, please, please. If you have fearful, don't invest 100 rupees at one go. You divide into certain percentage, whatever gives you comfort level. But please do that. That's what my advice would be. Tapan, you have enough money so you can invest now irrespective of markets going down. You used to sing the same song since last couple of webinars, but talk about general investor who have limited money. What would you like to do? Number of Mojo stocks decline every day. So where will general public invest? Please suggest. Very good question, sir. I don't have an unlimited source of money. I'm not an Ambani or Adani or Tata. I also have very limited resources. And I'm very happy that you observe that I'm very consistent in my thought process. That every webinar I come and say the same thing. That means there is no change in the thought process of mine. Am I right? I'll give you a very simple example. Every day, almost every day, not every day, that's a wrong it would be little on a little this one. But my portfolio, my personal portfolio is down in a 6-digit portfolio value. That is more than 10 lakhs, but less than 1 crore. Today also it has gone down. Am I a little worried? Why am I putting, even today I invested? Because I know that this market is, it tests your patience, it tests your conviction in the equity market. और मैं आपको नेक्स्ट कपल ऑफ वेबिनार्स में वही बताने वाला हूँ कि अगर आपके पास पैसा है तो डालिए. Now you said you have a limited money, you don't have money. If you don't have the money, how does it matter whether number of stocks are declining or not? आपके पास तो पैसा ही नहीं है. Assume कि आपके पास पैसा है. Either you can invest in the same Mojo stocks which are there, or wait for the new Mojo stocks to come in. If that also you don't want to do it, we have stock of the month. You can invest in that. We have stock of the week which gets published every week. That you can invest in that. But please do not borrow money to invest in the equity market. Despite market looks very, very exciting at this point of time in terms of valuations. वो गलती मत करना, because no one knows how much more pain is there in the market, and then you will get frustrated because वो मीटर चलता रहेगा आपका. It can create a problem. So my advice would be as follows. If you don't have the money, remain calm and composed. If you want more stocks to be added in the portfolio, there are Mojo stocks, there are stock of the month, there are stock of the week, उसमें आप invest कीजिए. And that's how you should take your journey in this market. Amil says, 9 people have said yes, 1 people has said no in the what we call Mahakumbh. But we have more than 500 people watching this webinar, so it's very too small a number to come to any meaningful conclusion. Sarang sir, everyone is wondering when will the bottom be made in Nifty. However, my question is, when broader market still seems to be overvalued based on historical data, how investors should brace for this sub-behavior which can continue for more time? How to rebalance portfolio? I'm following model follow so far. It is down 20% since November. Sarang sir, you are doing exactly the best thing one can do. Please follow model portfolio in a very peaceful manner. Yet it is down by 20%, we'll recover that. Not to panic. In fact, few days back or few weeks back, I presented a data of India's leading investors, how their portfolios have gone down by more than 20%, whether it was Rakesh or whether it's QnA. and you would have seen that numbers, am I right? What you are doing is exactly the way you want should do. Please follow our model portfolio in a disciplined manner. And we'll again speak in Feb 2026. At that time, tell me what happened to that minus 20%. You will come and tell me, Sarang sir, no, वो minus नहीं तो छोड़ दो, market अच्छा पैसा बना के दिया मुझे. So that's how you should look at it. Bhalachandra sir, you are right, absolutely. I have lost the bet with my friend in regards to Fab. FI coming back, I lost it. I promised him that I'll take him to the Loya, which is a restaurant which is newly opened in Taj. In fact, I very recently met Indian Hotels MD, Purit, Chatwal, and he was also, it's really beautifully come up. It's a North Indian restaurant in Taj, Bombay, Gateway. I have promised him the guy who loses will take us there. So I lost that bet, sir. And of course, maybe in the first week of March, I will have to take him there and give the party. Life पे हर रोज जितना कोई जरूरी नहीं है. Yes, I lost, but I must appreciate your good memory. In fact, there's one more thing yesterday I was talking to our PMS customer. The Warren Buffett normally comes out with the latest to the shareholders in the last week of February. And I have given some gist of that Warren Buffett letters to our PMS customers. And one thing you have said very loud and clear, that how many times he has used mistakes and error on his part. Warren Buffett is saying. And at the same time, he also talks about many corporates, that he's talking about the corporate of US, never admits that they've gone wrong. Except one, Amazon in 2021. He mentioned that in his letter. He said if you make mistakes, if you go wrong, you should have a guts to admit that. There is nothing wrong with that because no one can be 100% perfect. And he admits in his letter to the shareholders. But my request to all of you, please read that letter to the shareholders. It's available free of cost without any login. Santi se padhiye, it's always a pearls of wisdom that you will get from his letters to the shareholders. How soon you correct your mistake is very critical. So he admits that he has gone many times wrong. The same way I've also gone wrong in my FI prediction. And of course I have to take my friend to the lawyer for the party. I will take him. That's fine. Sri Hari, even after materials invested 30 years of in market, I have lost 12 lakhs of I invested nearly 13%. Why experience and prudence was by markets like a flood? So this has happened in the past, it will happen in the future also. There are many stalwarts in the market. They've also lost money, am I right, in the portfolio. This is a part and parcel. No, that's why I keep saying, Sri Hari sir, market always give non-linear returns. It will never give you linear returns. Some year it would be good, some year it will be bad. The guy who basically withstands the volatility is the guy who makes money in the equity market. That's why they said the stock market is a nice mechanism where weak hands will give good quality shares to the strong hand. If you get weak, you get fearful, your emotions will catch up. And when the person is emotionally charged, invariably he or she will do something which he is not supposed to do. So 12 लाख नुकसान हुआ है, कोई ज़्यादा टेंशन मत लीजिए, वो रिकवर हो जाएगा. Provided you act sensibly, you can control your emotions, then definitely. In fact 12 लाख क्या जो नुकसान है वो तो छोड़ दो, 12 लाख ज़्यादा कमा भी लोगे. But provided you have patience and you act very sensibly without impacting your emotions. My now nose got blocked. Yeah. Siddhant sir, I've reached out to MarketsMojo multiple times about the issue with the benchmark returns not being shown on model portfolio. It has been a month and no progress on this issue has been. Please check this issue as and when portfolio full transparency key about portfolio. Of course, sir, I agree with you, and I don't know why Arey, please forward this to Sneha immediately, and please forward it to Leena ma'am also, and to me also. I think it's a very serious issue. If that's not what Markets Mojo stands for, we have a turnaround time of 24 hours. And if you are saying it's a 1 month and still people have not bothered to respond to you, not acceptable. Amir, forward it to me, Lena and Sneha. Please, I want to get this resolved on Monday itself. Sandeep Das, good evening. Suleji, do you feel that government will intervene to stop further market fall? Most probably the answer is here. The way they are distributing freebies to the lowest data and the taxes implemented for FI, in you will there be a callback on this truth? I don't know, sir. I will be very difficult to. I don't think freebies can ever go in this system. हिंदुस्तान में एक चीज मैंने देखी है. It's very easy to start freebies. It's very difficult to take back the freebies. Why? Because it has a lot of repercussions in terms of return on that, whether you'll be able to come back to the power or not. जहाँ तक मेरी मेमोरी सर्व करिए, एक बार फ्रीबीज देना चालू किया, मैंने कभी देखा नहीं कि उसको कम हुआ, देखा हुआ है. Unless there is a reform that we did in somewhere in 1991 of that kind of, so normally थोड़ा difficult लग रहा है सर फ्रीबीज को वापस. China looking at so attractive right now. Do you feel that FIs will investment available for both China and India? So there has been some reports which suggest that China, some outflow is happening now in Chinese market. See, remember, the FIs, there are certain India dedicated funds. They will invest only in the Indian market. They will not invest in the Chinese market because that's their mandate. There are emerging market funds. Well, they can do the assets allocation. Do the FI investment available both India and China? The answer is yes, but today they are not in a mood to invest in India. Tomorrow their mood can change. जरूरी नहीं है कि and I keep saying jokingly to my wife also कि FI is like a wife. उनका मूड कभी बदल जाता है किसको पता नहीं है. आज बेच रहे कल शायद ले भी ले. So you never know. So yes, money is available. When they come back, we need to wait and watch. But I must tell you, FIs are underweight on India at this point of time. Even if they become equal weight, we will have a money coming in. Victor sir, many medium small caps in capital goods sector have gone down by 50%. What will be the trigger for the revival? I don't know, sir, what will the revival, whether it's a new order book position coming in, capex cycle coming back, and that's why there could be anything physically. If the management quality is good and so on and so forth, if they've gone down by 50%, don't panic. I'm not saying you buy more of that, but don't be in a rush to get out of that. That's what my advice would be. Viji sir, many of the stocks which were strong by few days back were giving good returns, and now many out of them have turned hold or sell. Suggested what could we have done, advice for profit booking at the proper time. Sir, in a hindsight, what we are saying is right, Vijay sir. That on a hindsight, we should have given the book profit or something. But sir, we are all wiser in the hindsight. We need to follow our IP. Sometimes it will work well, sometimes it will not work well. But otherwise, my suggestion would be nothing called 100% perfection in life. Am I right? We never recommend, we never claim that we will always be right. We will always advise you to buy at the bottom and sell at the top. It will never happen. But more often than not, we will advise you right entry and right exit. And due to that, overall returns would be much better as compared to the benchmark. But you are right, sir. We have not done that and we admit that. And even that has happened in the past. It's happening now. It will happen in the future also. We are very confident. Despite that, we will outperform the benchmark. SS Namdari. In the current market situation, what are the pros and cons of ignoring technical dot, which also means score, and making investment decisions based only on other free dots, you mean to say? Sir, our backtesting suggests that you should look all 4 dots in totality. Don't remove 1 dot and look at 3 dots. That's not how our IP suggests so. So sometimes, removing technical don't makes a little better, but eventually somewhere it will not. So my suggestion would be please use score, which is a function of technical also, to decide which company to get in and get out. Sometimes short term it may look better, but it may not be the better in the medium to long term. Amit tells me that खत्म हो गया सवाल या टाइम हो गया?
सवाल है सर,
सॉरी,
सवाल है और टाइम खत्म.
सवाल है तो जवाब भी तो है मेरे पास. लास्ट 3 क्वेश्चन प्लीज. If you ask me, even I'm little in a rush to close this because my nose is completely booked. So, what is your view on yesterday announced by Chotu PMS, Devasis? Sir, that's a good move by the industry, by the SEBI. Let's see what kind of product comes in, what kind of risk appetite, because that product also can invest in derivatives and what kind of returns people make. It's more for the investors who understand the risk and reward. We need to wait and watch. It just come yesterday. Let's see how it get accepted. I think many people will first prefer to watch for 1 or 2 years before committing bigger larger sum to that. Taha Nancy sir said we want 50% CAGR model portfolio that has highest CAGR returns in the long term to generate maximum wealth. Sir, even I want 50% model portfolio which can give me, CAGR 50%. 50% CAGR is huge CAGR. Sir, we have not cracked the formula yet. I'll be very honest with you. The day we crack the formula, will come in front of you. I know you have been keep writing to us every day to be Mohit and everyone, and I'm seeing that email, sir. It's not that I have not seen that email, sir. Unfortunately, we don't have an answer. That's why I'm not able to respond to that. Of course, you've been advising us to come up with a very aggressive portfolio which consists of small and very small cap and so on and so forth. Sir, we don't have an IP at this point of time which can give us a 50% CAGR on model portfolio. I don't want to unnecessarily promise something which I'm not able to deliver. Am I right? So we don't have an IP, sir. That's why we are not launching that product. But your point taken, it's in our agenda list. Kiran, how are the PMS called different than this general? Do you go as a stock level discussion and many debt gets covered? Any other debt gets covered? So, sir, our PMS call are not a function of what you see the score on the MarketsMojo website. Many times we may be buying a company which may be sell on the MarketsMojo, but we may be buying in PMS and vice versa, where it's a buy on the MarketsMojo side, but we may be getting audited because we have different IP altogether. Do you go to stocks level? Yes, we go to stock selection level. In PMS also, we try to interact with the management to get more insights about the company's fundamental and other story also. Just to reinforce that our IP and the fundamental view, talking to the management, does it match or not? So that's what we do, sir, Kiran sir. I know, 3 हो गए हैं, 1 हो गए, हाँ चलो. Please start doing Jal Niti regularly as you have seen suffer from cold and nose blockage regularly. Please check it up on YouTube and immediately buy a Niti port from Amazon. Works better than all medicine. Sandeep Das sir, I've done twice Jal Niti. And you are right, actually I've gone through. So there is a Santa Cruz in Bombay. There is a Institute of Ayurvedic. Yoga Institute, if you remember that, in Santa Cruz East. And twice I've gone, learned Jal Niti, but somehow I'm little ill-disciplined in this case. I think you are right, actually. I should do it, actually. The person against whom I lost that, my FI bet, does it every day, Jal Niti. But still, somewhere that there is some amount of inertia in me, which is, but your point taken, let me make an attempt to do Jal Niti. Thanks a lot, sir, for your advice and your suggestion. With this, let's come to a conclusion because I know many more questions, but I'm also not keeping well and time is also up. See you next Wednesday with the equity outlook, some interesting data point I'm going to present at 7 p.m. Please do come and join me and we'll discuss more on the markets. And of course, those people who I could not take up your question, please feel free to ask me and I'll try my level best to answer that. Good night, take care, have a great weekend.